The French-American composer Edgard Varèse is often credited with the definition of music as organized sound. And I think that is a very helpful definition. And that's certainly how music notation works. So if you're here, I'm guessing you want to learn about music notation. And music notation is a system within largely Western classical music, but we use it now for, I guess, all sorts of genres that have flowed from Western classical music in one way or another. What was I saying? Yes, there are two primary ways in which musical notation organizes sound. The one way is in accordance with pitch, and the other way is in accordance with time. Time is the easiest way of hearing the difference between sound you might think of as musical versus sound you might think of as not musical. And so we're going to start with time. It's also that pitch is a rather broad, massive subject, and it constitutes, if you don't mind that big word, the majority of what is being looked at and studied when you do music theory. So, given that time is of the essence, let us understand exactly what we mean when we say music is organized according to time. I'm going to run a few exercises here, and in order to do this, I'm going to invoke a little instrument called the metronome. I'm using an online version. And what the metronome is, as you can hear, is a little device that creates a sound separated by a consistent time period. So this is ticking, tick, 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 and the time period between each tick is consistent, and that's a key thing. In this case, with the sound of the metronome you're hearing here, that's 1 second. Metronomes are flexible. You can make them slower, like this. So slow-mo clock, but you can also make them faster like that. A little bit like dance music, rave, and that kind of music in particular. Anyway, so that's the metronome, and it is now in the background and is going to help me run these exercises. So exercise number 1 is that I'm going to speak, and I'm going to order the sound of me speaking. So from a language perspective, every sound you make that forms a word is called a syllable. So my syllables, which are therefore sounds, are going to be ordered according to this ticking sound. I'm going to say a syllable on the ticking sound, which is basically a syllable per second, because that's how I've configured it. And that goes like this. I'm going to say the sentence. Let me just get this. Music is wonderfully great. So let's go. Music is wonderfully great. Now, I can play around with this. How about 2 syllables per second? And again, such that they are consistent in the time difference. So that'll be like a syllable for half a second. So I will add an extra word because that will make it easier, and later on you'll, I guess, understand why I added this word, because I've done this exercise a few times and I found it a bit tricky with the way that the syllables were lined there, but now the syllables are fine. So 2 syllables per second, basically half a second for a syllable. And so, music is so wonderfully great. There we go. We can do it at double. So we would go like, and I'll hold the sound of the syllable for the whole double, because you'll see how it takes quite long. So music is so okay, we don't have to continue because otherwise we'll be here till next week. But the point is, as you can see, I am changing the way I say that sentence by ordering the syllables according to time. I have here this woodblock, which is one of my favorite percussive instruments. So I'm looking at the screen of my computer just to make sure that you can see the woodblock. In previous takes of this here video, I had the woodblock here where you couldn't see it. Apologies for that. So here's the woodblock, and I'm going to basically activate the sound of the woodblock by striking it, again using the metronome to help me strike it in an orderly fashion according to time, like this. That's once per tick. Again, we can have 2. And we can also have a tick per 2, sorry, a strike of the woodblock per 2 ticks of the metronome. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to do another exercise of mixing around these 3 ways of organizing sound according to time. I'm going to mix between doing it on, half, and also double. So. Okay, you get the point. As you can see, we are able to organize sounds according to a time reference. One last interesting exercise is that I'm going to switch the metronome off, and then I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to create a variation of ways of organizing the striking of the woodblock. I love this instrument, man. Come on, man. Look at this thing. Look at it. Wow. I love also how you can like hit it in different places. You can even do this. Sorry, that's completely aside, but I see, man, what an instrument. Anyway, the point is, the woodblock. I'm going to mix around strikings of the woodblock according to time, but this time without the metronome helping us. Why? Because as human beings, if not all of us, certainly the majority of us, have the ability to maintain a certain kind of internal metronome, ticking away in the back of your mind, like this. I don't know, that's probably just a bit faster than a second, but in the ballpark. So now I'm going to do a similar thing. There you go. So there you go. I just played you a nice little piece of woodblock music. I didn't even have the metronome going because I kept the metronome sound basically at the back of my mind somehow. We are capable of some interesting things as human beings. But this is what we mean when we say that music is organized sound, in this particular case, organized in accordance with time. In the next video, I'll introduce you to some basic music lingo that helps musicians talk about time in performances, in composition, in creating music, and in talking about music. And I will also teach you some music notation. And this is why time is so cool to start any kind of musical theory course on, because it's very easy to get to what we call the musical staff or musical staff notation, which is perhaps a fascination of many of you, seeing that you clicked on this video. So I'll catch you in the next video. We will continue our adventures in understanding music literacy and theory. Thank you.